On Tuesday night, Conor Ogilvie scored with his feet. And Saturday with his head. It's been a fantastic week at Fratton Park for Pompey. Elsewhere in League One yesterday was a good day for an away day, with Wycombe, Sheffield Wednesday, Port Vale, Plymouth and Ipswich all recording wins on the road. And as a result of our third league win on the trot, Pompey stay in third position as the league table begins to take shape. Tonight we will, as always, take a look back at a winning week for Pompey, which will now be followed by 2 trips on the road over the next 7 days. This is 4-0 Sunday Live. Oh, crikey, that ended quite abruptly, didn't it? Very good evening to you, everybody. Welcome along. Hope you're doing really well. This is our 5th week of 4-0 Sunday Live. And I'm delighted to say 5 of you join us here live on YouTube. Brett, oh, hang on, Aaron's disappeared. But we've got Gaz, we've got Brendan, we've got Sean here. Aaron's back as well. Gentlemen, good evening. First of all, Gaz all the way in Malta. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm loving it. Great time to be alive and a great time to be a Pompey supporter.
Wonderful. Brendan, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. Nice weekend so far. Topped off yesterday with a fantastic game and a great result. So we'll divulge into that a bit later on.
Absolutely. Sean, you were present as well for that one. Happy days.
Yeah, great game. Nice to be there. Nice to see another win at Fratton Park, and the morale is high.
Absolutely. Aaron, you weren't there, but you get the feeling through the videos. What's the feeling now?
I'm very jealous that everyone was there. It looked absolutely fantastic yesterday. And I've literally just been in 5 minutes. So it's like mad rush getting everything sorted and getting ready for you. But yeah, very, very happy to be a Pompey fan.
Good evening to everybody else who I'm sure is happy to be a Pompey fan. Luke's here. Daniel said congratulations on 11k. Thank you very much. Did we all have fun with no trains running? I'm sure we'll get onto that. Will's here, ready to rumble. Absolutely love sitting near the Rovers fans, Rovers bench, giving Barton stick for the entire 90 minutes. Liam says, good evening, Andrew. Hello to Nat and hello to Jeff. Right, there's only one place, nice fish tank. There we go. It started already. Only one place to start, and that is with Cambridge. We'll take you all the way back to Tuesday night. Brendan, you were there with us. You were watching the game. We spent a bit of time together beforehand. Just talk us through what you saw and how pleased you were with the boys. Delightful night under the lights at Fratton.
It was, again, a great performance from the boys. First half was a bit half and half, and then thought the second half we sort of gained more control of it. Again, Ronan Curtis there at the back post tapping it in with another with Spurs, was opening his league account for the season. And yeah, overall, just really professional performance in the second half. I think with Curtis, and then the high press, the goal from Michael Jacobs. And then topping off with that beautiful passing move to then finish with Conor Ogilvie at the back stick again, tapping it in. Overall, a great performance from Pompey. Atmosphere again was rocking at Fratton Park. And I've had the feeling that this is probably one of the loudest and most we've been behind the team for a fair few years. I haven't heard Fratton Park this loud properly in a long time, and it's, we're constantly making noise for 90 minutes. We don't have these boring quiet patches. It is constantly going, which is nice to have.
Did anyone notice the quick change? The
shirt.
Very quickly, I realised with about a minute to go that I didn't have it on, but it's on, and I feel much better now. Aaron, we didn't really feel like we got into third gear, I thought, against Cambridge. And I feel like, but then equally, you could say we didn't take our foot off the accelerator when we were winning the game. We're still looking to build on that. Third goal, Stenzo Owen Dale, and is a go-to moment for anyone who wants to press and score and get a result. And we're getting used to that now. Yeah,
it is nice. It's these slow starts I'm a bit worried about, but we seem to improve throughout the course of the game. Like last season, we were absolutely terrible first half. Every game, terrible. And then second half, we're actually coming into third gear, fourth gear. But it seems like the first 15, 20 minutes, we just seem to be a bit nervous at times, even though we're controlling the ball. But we're just not there yet. I said at the start of the season, the 6th game, that's the next game. From then onwards, I think we're actually going to see a much more physical, demanding team completely. I think everyone's just getting ready to start gelling completely together, because it's still a young team. We've only been playing a few weeks together. Yeah, got another game on Tuesday. Let's get the boys behind the boys. But yeah, slow starts I'm a bit worried about, but after 6th game, yeah, we're going to be all cylinders then.
Aaron just mentioned it there, Sean, that slow 20 minutes. I think you spoke to me about this. You reckon it's kind of Cowley's working out the side and trying to get their foothold in the game. I think those were your words to me.
I think it's that. I think it's, Cowley has a solid back four. They're not adventurous. They'll do a solid job. And I think we build off that. And I think the team is set up as such so that the first 20 minutes, we see what the opposition are doing. And then you'll see Cowley doing his tactical changes, getting the creativity in the midfield and, getting Pack to sort of pull the strings, feeding like to Jacobs, doing those neat little passes cross field. And I think that's what's happening. I think that first 20 minutes is probably like Aaron said, the team's new. We've got a solid back four, and that's the platform we build off going forward. And it's nice to see, but we all like attacking football for 90 minutes, and I'm crying out for Hume to come on and bomb down and overtake Jacobs and get some crosses in. But I'll happily go in, at half time, 1-0 up, and then put it to bed in the second half.
Absolutely. And Gaz, just on that as well, what Sean was saying there, how good was that 4th goal from Conor Ogilvie, who might not have got the plaudits that he deserved, Pack and Dale, and you'll mention all those. Pace on the boy as well. I think he was probably, I think he was man of the match at Fratton Park. We were saying that on the way out on Saturday, but particularly his Tuesday night performance was really something to behold, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I think the key to that game was when we got the goal just before half time, because obviously the change room would have been a bit different. If we'd have gone there 1-0, it could have been a little bit different for the second half. And last season, that's the sort of game we could have thrown away, but this is a better outfit this season. There's a good team talk at half time. But yeah, we were in Spain, weren't we? And I've nicknamed him the Terminator because Connor is just a different breed this season. So yeah, long may it continue the good run that he's having, because he's up and down. For the team at the moment, he's putting his body on the line. So yeah, man of the match for sure.
Absolutely. 138 people that join us across YouTube and Facebook. Drop the stream a like. Let us know where you're joining us from and let us know your thoughts on the last week at Pompey. We always look at this, and I like to include this. This comes from the Cambridge Tuesday night. We have a bit of 4-0 movie magic for you. And before I bring in Alex and Jake into the conversation, here's what happened on Tuesday when, as slick and succinct as sometimes 4-0 written all over it might appear, it doesn't always go that way. Does it, Brendan? Given how pleased you've been with the last week or so, 3-0, solid.
Yeah, definitely. Pickett will get a couple, I think. And I know Pickett's not starting. Is Pickett starting?
No, he's not, no.
Right, so...
Bishop.
Cut.
I tell you what, that will make the 4-0 bit on Sunday, that will. Yeah, there you go. No one sees that until Sunday. Go on. And no one did see that until Sunday. There you go. Gentlemen, good evening. Jake, Alex, how are you boys? Welcome.
Yeah, well, good, mate.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
That's all right, no problem. Oh, look at that on the old... Can we have another one of those? That's really cool. Was that on your hand? Was there a microphone on your hand then, Jake? No? What's that? What have you got in your hand?
Headphones?
Yeah. Oh, it's an earphone, but it's a Bluetooth one, so I can speak for it.
Oh, that's quite cool. That's really cool.
Rather than reach my laptop, which is quite far away,
That's it. I should say Jake joins us from, he's not in Express Towers right now, but usually on a Monday, Friday, and then if you turn on your radio anywhere in Pompey, it's probably Jake's voice talking about the football. So we really appreciate you spending some time with us tonight, mate. Give us your general overall view from the press box so far. I know we're only a few games in, but really good feeling about the club, and I love the shirt as well. I'm glad you got the memo on that.
Yeah, I must admit, Tom, as soon as I saw you wearing my shirt, I was tempted to go and change it. But
cheers.
I think the view from a press box, and I think the view just as a general fan of the club, which I've been for all my life, that doesn't change. But it's not just the football that Pompey playing; it's the whole sort of the atmosphere, it's the whole vibe around the club. Everyone's getting together, the unity, the strength that everyone's showing, the character that we saw on Saturday to concede that equaliser, on Tuesday night to go a goal behind, to find the goal before the half-time break. And it's the fans, it's the club, it's the managers and the players all coming together as one, feeding off each other, thriving off each other. And, if the Fratton Park atmosphere, we know can play such a massive part in carrying Pompey over the line in games. But this season, it just seems to be there is such a strong connection. And long may that continue. We know there's going to be bumps along the road, but as we saw on Tuesday night, going a goal behind, everyone just feels like there is something special happening in here, and for quite good reason too, because there really, really is. Which, the good football we're playing, the strong squad we've got, I'm really excited to see what we can do this season, and hopefully the Blues, the fans, as they have done for so many years. But the last time I got this feeling, Tom, was the 2016-17 season, where everyone just can feel it in the air. You can feel something is brewing.
Good evening to Dee Ferguson, who joins us from Reading this evening. Carl is tuning in from Ibiza, and Nolan's in from Crete. Gutted to have missed the free crackers, but a nice holiday. Many more crackers. I think we could get used to that. From Crete to Littlehampton, thanks, Rob, for joining us. Hope you're well. Good evening, Jake, the David Brent of Pompey, says Liam. There you go. I don't know if you recognise that name, but there we go. Hello to Young Fan Podcast. Hope you're well. Another brilliant win for Pompey. It was indeed. When we get into that, Alex, that good connection. Good evening to you, by the way, is only built on the quality of the football on the pitch, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. And as Jake's saying, when we go 1-0 down like we have done, or we get pegged back, it just feels there's a different feel around the ground, I think. There's a different feel around the fan base. It's not kind of a worry. It's kind of okay, well, we go again, and we're confident we can get a goal, which I think is such a big difference from previous seasons, where we get pegged back to a 1-1, or we go 1-0 down early on, and it's a bit like, oh no, so here we go. Are we going to get a point, or are we going to even pick up anything from this game? And I think both the games that have happened in the week, if we concede a goal, I'm not thinking, how many minutes we got left? We got time. I'm thinking that these players can score 1, 2, or 3 more, which I think is great. And I think it's testament against the Cowleys, and keep saying it, but they're the ones that are producing this football on the pitch in terms of what they're doing in the training ground, and it's just so refreshing to see it working and translating to the players. It's their team that they've got now, and I think it's really starting to show.
And the way we keep the ball, Gaz, and the work we do to get it back once we have lost it as well, it's so refreshing, and it's something that Pompey fans haven't been used to, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's that press, isn't it? Once we've got the ball, we're all looking for options. We're not running away for the ball. There's some nice combinations that obviously they're doing on the training pitch, and it's really, really good to see, because this season, like I said, there's a buzz around the ground. There's a connection now between the fans and the club itself. The old girl's looking a bit spruced up now, bit of paint, new chairs, etc. But there is more of a connection this season, and I feel, we're on the up.
Brendan, this time last week, we knocked Rico Hackett a little bit for his level of performance. And I think I might have said it on the stream that he feels like the weakest link in what is a really strong Pompey team. But to be fair to him, assist yesterday, this might be slightly cynical of me to say, Pompey's weaker players, but, coming off the bench, providing an assist, and Jacob scoring from the bench also. And Rico's really sort of put himself in the shop window and has had a really good week as a result, hasn't he?
Definitely. Now, don't put we in that, because I like Rico. I didn't put him in the stream put that. But no, yeah, I'm a big fan of Rico, and he gets his critics because they say he's one-footed, because he does canter his left foot a lot, and that may slow down the pace of the game. But he got the assist on the 4th goal on Tuesday night when he cut it back onto his left and dinged it over the back towards Ogilvie. And then when he's coming off the bench, he's looking. There's a lot of purpose in him, and he is working a lot harder to try and get his place and earn his shirt to have a starting place in the team. And then obviously the shot he had that was parried by the keeper, and then obviously Pickett was brought down for the penalty. It's exciting, and even the guy the lad who sits next to me, he said, "Oh, here comes Rico," but I said, "No, trust it. He's coming on for a reason." Danny wouldn't bring him on if he's not ready. That's what we need to look at, because I think Danny will pick the team and he'll bring in the players who will do a job, and that's showing through our performances and through the choices he's making, and it really is working.
Reg said, love the stream on the Sunday at the Blues. Thank you very much for that. Aaron, thanks for doing that, mate. It was a couple of minutes ago now, but appreciate it. Brooks said, go on the boys. Like button press, said Graham. Lots of new Pompey vlogs springing up these days. Do you watch them, Tom? Original and best, except no imitations. That's very kind of you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Rob loves the pressing football. Even the South Stand were singing, Jake, we take no shit about people saying that the South Stand's rubbish, do we? Not having that at all. Not having that.
No.
Right, gentlemen, I'm going to take you all out for a moment, and I think it's important that we say this because, as everyone knows, Fournilwrittenalloverit is very kindly sponsored by the wonderful people at OneFootball. There is a link in this description. If you haven't already downloaded it, you must do so. It helps us out on the channel. It's the best place to be for all the latest on scores. You can literally get them pinged directly to your phone. They come up, and even there. Oh, here we go. Doesn't get much better. I don't know if you can see that. There's literally just come through. 3-3, Man City, Erling Haaland, as he does, getting that goal, and everything football is straight to your phone. OneFootball's the place to be for you. We're going to move our attention now on to Bristol Rovers. First of all, by taking a look at some of the stats and statistics as a result of yesterday afternoon. So, would you believe it? Bristol Rovers dominated possession yesterday, but the expected goals are massively in Pompey's favour. Pretty much everything, including the big chances and shots, goes our way too. Pompey got offside 4 times, and as you can imagine, Gavin Ward gave a load of fouls out. That clinical nature of Pompey wasn't quite evidenced yesterday, but either way, Pompey've still got an awful lot to say about that. Look at the expected goals there. Shots outside the box is something we haven't seen an awful lot of in these opening 5 games or so either. That's just me, which we don't want. We want everyone back now. We'll come back to Aaron, as I think I got to that point in the circle. Your initial thoughts on Bristol Rovers, Aaron. First of all, from all of us here at Fournilwrittenalloverit, a big shout out and the very best of wishes to Louis Thompson, who was on the end of what can only be described as an unacceptable challenge. I'm sure everyone will echo the sentiment for a speedy recovery. Glenn Whelan, no place in football for that, is there, Aaron?
No chance at all. And even that idiot of a manager they've got. I know there's some Bristol Rover fans on here, but you have got an absolute idiot of a manager applauding him after that challenge, even though like the first aiders are that they're chucking oxygen on him and he was still there clapping. Absolute disgrace. There's no need for that. There was no need for that challenge to go in the first place. Not sure if it's just a single break or a double break in his leg, but I understand he's even put a message out on his Instagram thanking all the Pompey supporters and everything, sending him messages to get well soon. He's going to be missed. He's going to be really missed. And also with Danny as well, as soon as the game finished and he left the ground, straight over to the hospital to go and see him. But yeah, that tackle was uncalled for. There was no need to do that. He's very, very lucky not to have got a red. And with their manager's comments as well, that was disgusting. Just saying it was a normal challenge. That wasn't a normal challenge. That's a career-ending situation there. And I just really, really hope he gets well, gets the recovery he needs, and we see him back at Fratton really, really quick. Because, he will be missed. He's been a good player for us this season so far. And long road to recovery for him. But, there was no need for that challenge.
Jake, is there any of the latest you can give us on his condition, and also any reason why Gavin Ward didn't get his red card out after that challenge went in?
Well, it's baffling. I mean, in terms of the latest on the condition, I'm just as, unaware as you guys. It seems to be quite quiet at the moment. You'd think at the moment, given his situation, taken straight to hospital, we know, as you mentioned there, but Danny Cardy went to visit him straight away. You'd like to think that they made some sort of diagnosis as to what the actual injury is. So maybe, just for respectful reasons, maybe they're trying to, keep that under wraps for now. There's no rush to bring us that news. None of us are naive to know that he's going to be out for quite a considerable amount of time. Hopefully it's not a career ender. Hopefully it is just a minimum of a couple of months. But yeah, in terms of the decision not to give a red card, I mean, we saw him in Manchester City Newcastle game today with Jared Gillett, the Australian referee, giving Kieran Trippier the red card, and VAR intervened, overturned that to a yellow. Now, the decision not to give Glenn Whelan a red on Saturday is baffling. I'm not saying we should have VAR in League One. I'm not a massive fan of it. It does interrupt it and it slows the game down. But ultimately, it gets the decision correct. And maybe in that instance, Glenn Whelan would be sent off. Going through Gavin Ward's mind, I know you can't always influence your decision as referee. I know it's a difficult job. But surely you look at Louis Thompson and the way he's gone down, the medical team around him, and his jerking of his leg to indicate that he is in serious pain. I think he was crying at one point, and you can't blame him for that. It's not just the pain he's going through, but knowing that he's going to be out for quite some time. I'd like to think that any referee with any sort of morals would look at that and think, okay, you've ruined his last season potentially. you deserve to be off the pitch, regardless of, I don't know. It is baffling. I hope it's not just us with our blue tinted glasses, but having seen the replays, which they didn't show on the ITV show last night, they didn't show it on the YouTube channel from Pompey this morning. But looking at the iFollow replays, because you've got some, really good people out there who do sit there and record it and let us know, and give us those updates. It looked horrific, and it's not just the challenge itself, but it's the way that Louis Thompson falls onto that leg and just bends it in a really horrible way. So yeah, just really echoing what you're saying, Tom. Wishing him all the best. Hopefully, it is just a minimum of a couple of months, but ultimately not a career ender. In terms of Pompey and their depth, we said it time and time again on the Football Hour, Tom. The depth this season, the quality and the depth of players we got at our disposal, it's incredible. Danny Cowley's got the resources to overcome this, and not in a horrible way, but I don't think it would impact Pompey too much. It's horrible to see, and I wish Louis Thompson would come back as soon as possible. He's a key player in this team. But you've got Joe Morrell coming back from injury. You've still got Ryan Tunnicliffe waiting in the shadows. Jay Mingy as well was really impressed at the start of the season. We've got backups, and this is exactly why Danny Cowley wanted those backups in the first place, because this sort of thing was eventually going to happen to someone at some stage of the season.
And it's nice that it doesn't leave us completely exposed in the midfield, does it? Absolutely. Dan said it was an overzealous challenge at best. I think William will feel pretty poor when he reflects on it. Brooks said, I think the challenge tackle wasn't that bad. It was unfortunate of where Thompson's foot was placed, which caused the injury. Jeff said Barton said it wasn't a foul, but deserved a yellow card. How's that work? You vile man. There you go. Nathan Thompson will show Whelan what a career ending is on the 19th of November. Maybe he might be out for a little bit of revenge. Alex, myself and you have done the rounds as referees in sort of the lower steps of football locally. Something really needs to be done about the standard of officiating, doesn't it? We kind of say it every week. And it's nice that Pompey's results thus far aren't affected, but myself and Sean were saying it in the video on the way out. If he'd given the penalty and it's 2-2, it's then a different story, isn't it? So, it's swings and roundabouts. How much needs to be done about refereeing right now, and what can we do in the moment?
Yeah, I mean, massive amounts need to be done. It's kind of getting to the stage where it's unacceptable. You see, not just Pompey, you see across the grounds, League One, League Two, even Championship. There's calls every single week, which you see going around social media. It's saying, how is this, or how is this not this? And, Joe Morrell sent off at Oxford, dubious. Dane Scarlett kicked in the head at Chef Wed in the penalty box. It's so many calls that, you're saying aren't costly, but you look at them in the big picture and you think, over the course of the 46-game season, there's going to be calls that are really costly. And it's just, the problem is each team are looking at, can we be on the receiving end of less than the other 40, the other 23 teams in the league, which is not the way to look at it. The reason we can't have VAR in League One is because, the game would be stopped every 5 minutes because the decisions are so bad. So it's just, something needs to be done from the ground up. And, people like Gavin Ward are getting game after game after game, and he's making decisions that are just horrendous. I don't know if he thinks if it's just Pompey that he has bad games with. But I just don't know. And what Jake is saying, it's right. The way Louis Thompson goes down, the common, it's where his leg's placed. I don't think you can say a player who's got the ball or has the ball and then you can't place your leg there because you might get your leg snapped is probably not the way to look at it. But I just think, it seems to be the Premier League is always looked at. This is where we need the best of the best. Even they make decisions that are wrong. VAR sorts them out. It's just there's a lot of problems at League One, League Two, especially where refs are just going to games and just the game is thrown one way or another because of decisions that are made, and it just can't keep going on.
And that there was a comment from Joey Barton of the one single thing that I agreed with him after everything I've seen that he said. I disagreed 100% with absolutely everything else, but the influence of the crowd, I think he's got a point. I think Gavin was really going with what the Fratton end and the North Stand and us were saying. Sean, I want to come to you on this one because you mentioned it to me at the time. The challenge of Barton taking Mendes out at Fratton Park. Talk us through that one for those who might not remember or might not have known.
Yeah, I remember it. It was on that same touchline just further up, and I remember him taking Mendes straight out. They went over to the side, and the crowd at that point was just like it was yesterday. It was straight up, straight on, and it was the shock initially, and then it was the abuse that went towards Joey Barton, and you could see it yesterday again in the crowd, the anger, and it goes back to that togetherness. It goes back to the impact of the crowd. And I was surprised, if that referee was influenced by the crowd, I think he would have given a red, but he didn't. And whether he, I didn't see his position from where I was sitting before I joined you guys. I saw a great position to tackle, and the ball had long gone. And the guy came in, Williams came in, took his leg, and you saw it was all how bad it was. But I didn't see where the ref was. Now, credit to him, maybe he didn't see it as from that angle, and that's where the VAR would come in and would maybe change the decision. But I thought he would have been influenced by the crowd as well. So I don't know if he wasn't. I don't think he was.
Gaz, you would have watched it on iFollow. Mm-hmm. The influence that Sean's talked about. We don't want to bang on too much about referees, and this will be the last question surrounding it. But the Bristol Rovers players were very quick onto Gavin Ward, weren't they? And I wonder if there's, fourth official stood right there. He's seen something. Gavin, I can imagine he's quite a headstrong man, seeing as the kind of decisions that he's been pulling out of nowhere at Fratton Park. But that kind of getting in your ear, and there's a comment from here. Why would anyone want to be a referee? Because we know it's a tough job, and Jake's already mentioned that. But when you get it that badly wrong consistently, it's something to sort out, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, referees, they can either be a hero or a zero. They can either be with you or against you. I also think where the challenge happened, if it was anywhere else on that park, I personally think it was a red, But because of where it was, right next to the touchline, with the Cowleys there, with Barton there, fourth official there, I think the referee bottled it. Because if he'd have done a red there, it could have gone and be a huge melee. There could have been a lot worse than what it was. So I think possibly where it happened would have been influenced. But the referee, like Alex has said, it didn't have a great game. The standard in League One, League Two isn't the greatest, and let's hope there's some up and coming referees in the future that can at least step up and give us 90 minutes of decent football.
But just on what's the fourth official doing? As we know, Tom, you were employed as either lino, ref, fourth official, and then obviously fifth official and stuff in the more elite games. But every single one of those people on the pitch or on the touchline, they're all referees. These are people that have their mic on, speak to the ref. They have influence on decisions. They're there to be extra eyes. That fourth official is not employed just to hold a sign. Otherwise, I'll go and do it every week. He's got the qualifications to have a say in it, which actually can influence the referee. If he's got a better view of it when it's literally underneath him, he's got to say something. And I just don't think we've got the strength of officials in League One and League Two that are going to go, hold on a minute, you've made the wrong call there, or don't make the call yet, let's have a chat. They don't do that. It doesn't seem there's enough communication. It's like, the ref decision's final. Gavin Ward's probably got 2 more years of experience than I have. I'm just here to hold up the subs board. So it just doesn't. You need to piece it all together. There's 8 eyeballs from officials in that game. So surely someone's going to see something that someone hasn't seen. And what Sean says, if the ref's not in the right position, that's his fault. Then he's got to use his officials to say, okay, have you seen had a better view of this? As you say, Gavin Ward's probably a very headstrong, we'll call it, as a nice way of saying it, man to just give the decision what he thinks. But I think, they've got to chat to each other, these officials, otherwise it's never going to get any better.
Try and give him a bit of right to reply. I'm almost convinced that the lino gives the penalty at the Fratton end, by the way, just because of how long Gavin's taken to make a decision. Anyway, Brendan, let's move on to the actual football. We want to talk about Pompey. We're on a Pompey stream. Bristol Rovers, that bullet header from Conor Ogilvie, the rest of the goals, Stormers as well. I mean, a special shout out for Owen Dale as well, Brendan, who I think might have been a little bit unsung. And the amount that meant to him as well. The badge, the fist bump, the giving it large at the Fratton end, the post on Instagram afterwards, all good stuff.
Massive, yeah, completely. It was a great game of football. We obviously had some great chances to score some goals. We're really pressed as well. Even the chances that didn't hit the back of the net. Dane Scarlett had a chance. We had 3 shots blocked in the space of about 7 seconds. It was brilliant. I thought that the bullet header from Ogilvie, the lovely lofted corner from Jacobs, then bullet header and then obviously getting that penalty as well. Really needed it, I think, as well at the time. It was really needed. It obviously making Gavin Moore make that choice, come with the referees. Yeah, as of making give the penalty. It was speechless. It was just a great game of football for Pompey to win. Atmosphere was on point, and just the way we get the ball down and pass it around, and we look after it, which is a good thing, and we don't just pump it long, and we go down one side. If we can't get through, we'll go back and we'll put it around the other way, and keep on. And Marlon Pack just being the orchestra, the conductor, just pass, telling players where to go, where to pass it. And as a special shout out to Owen Dale, he had a storming game on that left hand side he's playing on, with the right hand side, left hand side, and just running, and then to get that goal at the end, Scarlett's little cross the back post and an empty net to bullet header into the corner, and really showing that he cares and he's showing why he wants to wear the blue shirt every week.
Big shout out to Stefan, who for some reason feels the need to pay for this every week, which easy, Stefan, but thank you. 2 wins in a week. Other than the Thompson injury, everything is indicating going straight up into the Championship. Glad we haven't sold Tunnicliffe. I'm worried about coming to you on this one, Aaron, because you're always Mr. Optimist. But go on, give us your thoughts on that. 2 wins in a week, straight up to the Championship. That must be music to your ears, mate.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think all of us, what we've seen over the last few weeks, if we play like this week in, week out, yeah, Championship football, here we come. But it's not going to be like this every week. We are going to lose games. We are going to make mistakes, and we're going to make stupid mistakes. But that's football. I just hope we don't have a major blip like we do every single season. The players are playing with each other, and they're working so hard to fight for that first starting 11. But if we carry on the way we're going, we will definitely be in the Championship next year. Playoffs is still there, 100% playoffs. But if we keep playing like this, we're very, very close to Ipswich and Peterborough, only a couple of points. They're going to be our biggest targets. And if we can beat them, then we've actually put a line in the sand and say, right, we're here. This is what we're going to do. See you next year in the Championship.
Jake, how nice is it to say that we can really consider success being sort of drawn from a 6-pointer against Ipswich and a 6-pointer against Peterborough, and trying to take 2 sets of 3 points off these big hitters in League One? It's refreshing, isn't it?
It is. And, what we've been talking about there, the expectation for this season, there are going to be bumps along the road. You look at the run that Pompey have got in September. It's arguably, the toughest month that we were going to face all season. Looking at the fixtures, yes, we've got Port Vale on Saturday after the Newport Cup game. But looking into September, Peterborough at home, Barnsley away, Burton away on a Tuesday night, Plymouth and Bolton at home. Those are 5 really, really tough games. We've had a favourable start to the season, and there's absolutely every reason to be excited and have that optimism about us. But looking back to this time last year, it came up on my Facebook memories this morning. Pompey were unbeaten, hadn't conceded a goal all season, and we ended up finishing outside the playoffs. So just going to emphasise, not to put a downer on things, because there's absolutely no reason to do so, but there are still 42 games left to play. We need to keep our heads grounded a little bit, but going into these games with your Peterboroughs and your Ipswich, to know that you've got a good enough team to be competing with these sides. I think we've been perhaps a little bit overexcited in previous seasons to actually go into these games thinking, yeah, Pompey are going to mount a promotion push this season. Whereas actually you look at our squad on paper and the depth hasn't been there. There's always been a chance, and we're always going to support the team. We're always going to have that optimism about us as much as possible. We're supporters, and we're dumb enough to do that, unfortunately, from time to time. But this season actually feels a lot different. I genuinely do think we've got one of the best squads in the league, and we don't necessarily have the Johnson Clark Harrises, for example, who's got such an incredible record in this division. He started the campaign fantastically as well, but we've got a good core of players, and I think that's exactly what we had in League Two in 2016-17. Not necessarily your big names, but just an overall team that came together and got us over the line. So it's a great feeling to be able to compete with these lot. I think now the excitement levels are there. We know how good a squad we've got on paper. As much as there's optimism, you've then got the expectation, which goes up and up and up, which ultimately means if we do miss out on, if we miss out on the top 6, it's a failure. There's no other, I don't think there's any other thought about that. It's a failure if we don't get top 6 for squad. Promotion, the playoffs are a lottery. I think we're definitely capable of a top 6 finish. The quality of teams in this league, your Derbies, your Sheffield Wednesday, your Ipswich and your Peterborough, they will come good. And by the end of the season, it's going to be, I think, a 3-4 horse race for that top 2. Yeah. So let's just see how it goes. But it's great to be in the mix for once. Danny Cowley often says that we're an underdog because we've not been backed by the bookies. Not a lot of teams are talking about Pompey to be an actual contender for the top 2. But who knows? That might work in our favour, and I sincerely hope it does.
Absolutely. And there you go, Brendan. Just to confuse you more, Dale switched sides when Rico came on. So Dan's on it for you, mate. Dan's your man. Jake, guys, thank you all for the moment. What we're going to do now is move on to start to preview Newport County, which is Pompey's next destination on the road. Pompey have been drawn against two Welsh teams for both round 1 and 2 of the Carabao Cup this season. An accomplished 3-0 win against Cardiff City meant Pompey progressed to the next stage of the competition and have been handed an away tie to Newport County. Newport fans have endured a relatively rocky start to the season. They have really struggled for consistency in results and clean sheets, and as a consequence they find themselves rooted in the bottom half of the table at this early stage. Pompey's last season in League 2 was the last time these two sides met. Paul Cook's side at the time came from 2-0 down to win 3-2 on Boxing Day of 2016. Carl Bennett and Cal Naismith scored the goals in Pompey's 2-1 win at Fratton Park in the reverse fixture that season. Newport had an exciting route to the second round of this competition, coming from 2-1 down against Championship outfit Luton Town to progress courtesy of a 3-2 win. And I'm delighted to say that Mike joins us now. Good evening to you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, big up to everyone on the panel and to yourself, Tom. Thanks for getting me involved.
No problem at all, mate. It's nice to speak to you. So, go on then, tell us. We had I'm not going to try and pretend, Mike, but we've already spoken today about Newport Pompey, haven't we? So, tell us about your season so far. You told me you're struggling for a bit of consistency.
Well, I'd say in the league, absolutely woeful, but that game against Luton was excellent. It was our second string side against, I think, like 7 or 8 of their first teamers, which, to get a 3-2 win there was incredible. We went 1-0 down with Carlos Mendes Gomez, unbelievable strike. And then we equalised 6 minutes later. Then they scored 2 minutes into the second half. We equalised 2 minutes later again. And then I think it was like 7 minutes from time we went and won it. But at 3-2, a League 2 side against a Championship side, 3-2 up could sit back, hold out for the win, but we were going for a fourth. We were, pushing for a fourth. And I was actually a bit worried in the away end. I was like, come on, we're 3-2 up here against Luton and we're, piling men forward. I'm like, sit back for Christ's sake, going forward. But no, we got the 3-2 win in the end. At that point, we were bottom of League 2, which to go away at Luton, bottom of the league and win was quite crazy. Got our first win of the season, first league win of the season against Tranmere on Saturday, which hopefully is going to give us a confidence booster going into our game on Tuesday night, Tom. I kept saying tomorrow because I normally do a preview the day before.
You did, but I'm pleased we've managed to iron that one out, mate, before you came on. So from a Pompey point of view, if you were a Pompey fan, which I know you're not, but what would you be expecting from this Newport County side? Are we likely to see quite a few changes from what you might be putting week in, week out in League 2 as a fielding an 11, or would you expect quite a lot of the experienced boys to be trying to get through to round 3?
Well, it's a difficult one because in previous years when we've played, when we played a big team, we'll go with our first team. But the last couple of seasons, we stick with a cup team. We beat Swansea 2 seasons ago in the first round of the Carabao Cup, and then played the same team against Cambridge, then the same team against Watford, then the same team against Newcastle, which unfortunately we lost on penalties. So sometimes we do seem to go with the same team, that trusted team that got us past the previous round, to give themselves another chance again. But I think James Ryder is a different type of manager. I think he's going to go for his strongest possible team because he's already said that Portsmouth, may field a weakened team, and he thinks that we can potentially get at that.
And I'm looking around at the boys' faces here, but Omar Bogle is a man that we may face on Tuesday night. Mike, tell us a little bit about what we can expect from him. How's he been getting on in a Newport shirt?
Absolutely fantastic. Workhorse, chases everything down. When we signed him, it's probably one of my most viewed transfer videos because all I had was Hartlepool fans and Cardiff fans saying Bogle's crap, Bogle's this, Bogle's that, Bogle's this. And I was like, okay, I'll expect that to happen. And if that happens, I'm not going to be, shocked. But he lost the ball on Saturday. He lost the ball, and then the determination to chase it, win it back, and then spray it a diagonal pass to his strike partner was unbelievable. And, he's winning everything in the air. He got bullied on Saturday by, I think it was Jordan Turnbull, Tranmere centre-back. And he got bullied in the first minute, and then 2 minutes later, he went up for a challenge, little elbow on Jordan Turnbull, and then Turnbull never went near him all game. I think he's turned into a different player at Newport. He's probably our penalty that he scored the penalty that won us the game on Saturday as well. So he's in good form. 3 goals in his last 3 games.
He's found his level then.
Yeah.
I don't care as long as he gets us up. I don't care where his level is.
when he was at Grimsby, he was a goal machine when he was there. So he's done well in that league.
Yeah.
Just the Pompey fans. Do we remember the game against Luton on that Tuesday night? We lost 3-2 in the end. And
in the snow.
And he was unbelievable that day. And we were all just doing exactly what you're doing, mate, and being like, we've got some play on our hands. And then, Omar Bogle, the rest is history.
Sean, what are your memories of Omar Bogle?
His physicality. When he first came, like Alex just said, that we thought initially we had an amazing player in our hands, and he put himself around. He seemed to do the right things, and his effort was there. And then, was it mismanagement? Was it he didn't get opportunity? He then seemed to just drift out of the Pompey side. And then when he came on, my long-lasting memories of him are the fact that he looked disinterested. He wouldn't put the effort in. He went AWOL sometimes. That was the character towards the end of the time. But when he first came, like you were saying, it was just he was phenomenal. But then he just seemed to lose interest. I don't know what went on behind the scenes.
And to be honest, I think if you keep Omar Bogle with the right attitude, you've got a great player. Like he can probably do really, really well for you this season. And I think the attitude is the reason he's sat in League Two. We know when we saw him against Luton away and some other flashes of excellence. And I think he was a big lad with good feet, and he could, he had a good strike on him and stuff. Would put himself around, but as soon as he's got that, I'm not bothered anymore. Like Sean says, there's no point in having him on the pitch. So fingers crossed for you. He has that attitude on Tuesday when we play you. And then for the rest of your season, he can do well in League Two.
I think on the plus side, you haven't got a jacket managing him.
Very true. The strikers that we've signed alongside him, though, are sort of pushing him to stay in the team. Because, like, when we played Luton, he didn't start. It was Chan Kazimba and Lewis Collins up front. And both of them were phenomenal. So Bogle had to work harder to get back into the team. And I think that may keep that sort of attitude barrier lessened if there's people competing for places.
Yeah. Mike, what do you expect from this Pompey team then? On as a flip side of the question, you told me you were scared of a certain someone who wears a magic hat earlier on. So go on, explain.
Well, the fact that the squad is so littered with talent, and you look at Pompey the last few years, you've not had. I think this is the best. From an outsider, this is the best Portsmouth side you've had in a long time in terms of the depth. You've got a midfield which has got Tunnicliffe, which has got Pack, which has got Thompson. Unfortunately, had that injury at the weekend, and others as well that can come inside like Morel. You've got depth at the back. Well, I said to you, Tom, earlier, signing of the summer for you is probably Michael Morrison at the back. Wealth of VFL experience, massive player in the dressing room. But there's just strengths from all sides of this Portsmouth squad. Just hope that you play the weakest possible squad that you have. Because if you play your strongest team or close to a strong team, I still think we're going to win. Obviously, I'm never going to predict us to lose, but I still think that is the more quality you play, the tougher it's going to be. Quite obviously, but I think we've beat better teams than Portsmouth in cup competitions. That's all I'm saying.
And just finally then, Mike, I mean, you've given us a brilliant overview of what we can expect on Tuesday. So thank you for coming on and telling us about that. Let us know where we can watch your stuff on YouTube, and then hit us with a score prediction to finish it off.
Yeah, so Mike Green on YouTube. There will be a vlog out Tuesday night for the game. Well, if we win, if we don't or get battered, then it probably won't be seen live on YouTube. No, I'm only joking. Mike Green on YouTube. Yeah, we're very close to 3,000 subscribers on there. I think we're like 40 away from that. So if we can hit that very soon, that would be much appreciated. Score prediction, 1-1, Newport to win on penalties.
Straight to pens as well.
Yeah.
That's not got widespread approval amongst the boys, I can tell you there, Mike. There we go. Thank you.
Mike, you're going to be there, mate. Waiting for Mingy's season. He's going to start, mate, and he's going to run you lot ragged in centre midfield. Jay Mingy. Remember the name.
I'm hoping two certain players don't play. One, Joe Morrell, because he's Welsh, and I don't want to have to celebrate another Welshman scoring against us like I had to celebrate Tom Lockyer at Luton. And then another one is because I can't stand them idiots from down the road. Is Marlon Pack.
He's a Pompey boy.
I'm so glad that you beat them 3-0. So glad.
Yeah.
We should have mentioned that as well. But for now, Mike, thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll do our best to get you on the video for Tuesday night as well. What we should say? Oh, sorry, mate. Go on. I've just cut you out there. Let's go back to you. What were you going to ask? Oh, hello. There we go. What were you going to ask?
Absolutely, Tom. Thanks for having me on, and good luck for the rest of the season, but not Tuesday night.
Just not Tuesday night. Rest of the season, absolutely, but not Tuesday night.
The FA Cup as well. Imagine I say that now and then we draw each other in the FA Cup. No, don't wish you luck for that either.
We don't want to go back to Wales, mate. I'm so sorry. It's a beautiful place, but we don't want to go back to Wales.
And by the way, I hope you get promoted.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
Cheers.
And I hope you do out of League Two as well. You've been trying for a couple of years, haven't you? So we'll see how it goes.
All right. Speak to you later, Tom.
Take care, mate.
Bye.
Jake mentioned it earlier on. This is Pompey's run of fixtures to this point. Well, in the next couple of weeks. Barnsley away stands out to me. Peterborough as well is in there. There is the trip to Fratton Park for Plymouth. Bolton's another on that screen, and we are going to very shortly be previewing our trip to Port Vale, which many of the gentlemen in the stream are going to be joining us for. Very, very excited about that. And I can't wait to go to Burton on a Tuesday night in September as well, which is a really odd feeling to have. And what I should say at this point, before we get back to the preview, and we've got another special little video to play you in just a moment. The One Football app, I need to tell you this twice in this hour because I think it's really important. And I saw a comment, actually, that you can now live stream Italian games free of charge. So if that is the kind of football fix that you're interested in, then One Football is the place to be. And as you know, it is the best place for all your latest in terms of fixtures, team news, highlights, everything, all through the One Football app. You can get push notifications through to your phone and absolutely everything. Right, before we bring all the boys back in, my brother joins us live on the line as well, which is very exciting. Jake's back with us. Let's take a look at an incredibly heartwarming moment from yesterday. And I should say, just before we watch it, we have got Super Danny Cowley. And I've just realised it's got no sound, so I'll give you a bit of commentary. But there is a Megnuts in here somewhere. I think it's coming up now. There it is. in he goes.
Sean, that's poor from him.
Legend of a man.
That's a PE teacher for you.
Legend of a man. And he I believe this was sort of half hour to go, 45 minutes, I would have thought. I don't know, Jake, did you spot him from the press box doing this? No, Jake's not with us. Gaz, do you see it all the way from Malta?
No, I mean, I don't see that. Like, obviously, sometimes it's like, I just get the old, your ice stream is about to start. Please wait. That sort of commentary, before it starts. Like,
Look at this.
Amazing, man. I will say one thing, though, Tom, is that obviously, look at the togetherness there from obviously Danny and obviously them, them boys and girls there. But obviously yesterday, there was massive problems with the transports, the trains, the strikes and all that sort of stuff. And it was so good to see the Pompey community they were all like hooking each other up with lifts. They were like saying, I'm coming down from Petersfield, I'm coming down from Guildford. I even put some money towards this guy called Ryan. He was coming down from Woking in a wheelchair. And I put a donation towards his GoFund page. And he raised like £500 for a taxi to get from, and that was the Pompey community just helping a guy out to go and watch his tit. I don't know whether you've seen it on Twitter, but it was an amazing story. And it was just...
sorry, guys, even Eric Eisner tweeted it as well.
Yeah.
The owner of our club actually tweeted the boy in the wheelchair and that. This is just such a wicked family club now.
Really
it's
good.
Just amazing. From top to bottom.
Gaz, are you hinting that you want us to fund your trip from Malta or what?
No. I'm all right for this next trip. I'm all right getting into Manchester, and then obviously got Richard picking me up, and I got Tom taking me down to Birmingham. But maybe for the next one, I'll maybe put a GoFund page up, see how we get on.
We were trying to sort you out. Live from Stansted, weren't there? That went out on Twitter. People giving you advice on how to get up there. So came to get a few.
Gentlemen, if you don't mind, we'll turn our attention to Port Vale, and I believe as well. Gaz is coming, Brendan's coming. Aaron, right, mate, we need to have words about this. Are you coming? Are you not coming? What's going on? Oh, it's not good.
No, it's a bit. I've got to be careful because the missus might be hearing, but it's a sore point. We're travelling up to the Lake District, and because we've got 2 dogs now, so we might need to stop and have a little break. I said, well, if we stop off at Port Vale for a couple of hours, and she goes, "You're not going to football. You're not going." And I've even tried to convince my father-in-law to come down and meet us because we're going on a holiday with him as well. But sadly, I've been told and got to keep the missus happy. So yeah, I will be with you in spirit. But yeah, unfortunately.
Before we get on to talk about the actual ins and outs of Port Vale, I should say there's a man underneath me who is 10 years my superior, 10 years my elder, but he's in the other room over there. Ollie, welcome. How are you, mate? I shouldn't need to say how are you, mate, because I saw you about half an hour ago. But
yeah, your dinner's an oven, mate.
Yeah, thanks very much. We I knew that was coming. We watched the highlights back together earlier on, didn't we? And you were really impressed by what you saw.
Yeah, I am pleasantly surprised this year, actually, to be honest with you. I was much the critic last year. I have to say I was not in very much attendance. I kind of fell out of love with it a little bit last year, which is very poor from me. So apologies to all all the boys. I shouldn't have really been like that. But yeah, I was a bit surprised. I was looking obviously what's happening in the transfer window. I've got a few friends in football and I was speaking to them about the situation at the club and bits like that. And there was some good news, some bad news going on. I wasn't too sure. When we lost Harness, I was gutted, obviously, at that point, and I was a bit unsure how the season would go without someone there. I think the signing of Owen Dale's been massive for us. I think that's hugely going to push us forward this year. And actually, the boys are performing really well. It's great to see us taking some chances as well. It's been a long time coming since we've had people scoring goals from us on a regular basis and seeing sort of 2, 3, 4 go in a game. We haven't had that for a number of years, so it's quite exciting actually to see what we can do this year.
Sean, you'll be with us for the trip to Port Vale. Very much looking forward to seeing you for that. Tell us what you're expecting from this. And I have to say that's the other brother, Daniel, I'm afraid to say. That's Alex on the negative. And I should say, Ryan, I'm seeing all the comments on Facebook come through. And I believe Ryan is actually the man that you sent some money to, Gaz. So Ryan does join us on Facebook this evening. And he said thanks for all your help. So Ryan, you are very much welcome, mate. I'm glad we've got such a fantastic Pompey family, and we saw that in the 4-0 family on Saturday in the stands. Retro is a hero, and I'm sure if the boys want to stick around after the stream once we're off air, then I'll be able to tell you all the story of that one. I even told his wife as well, so it was a proper story. Sean, your thoughts on what you're expecting for Port Vale? The return of Ellis Harrison to our eyes.
Yeah, another one that I think could bite us in this game. He was one of my favourites when he was with us, and I do think again maybe mismanagement. Again, he lost the sort of attitude, the will to play for us, and then he sort of went out the door. But he's a talent, and I think he's one that may pose some problems. But I think, like Jake said, that our squad is so good, and I think we will see some rotations. But you look, you've got to come in. If you take Raggett out, you put Robertson in. You take Pack out, you've got Morel. It's a solid team, and I think we'll rotate some players. I think we'll go there. We'll start off KG for the first 20 minutes as we do, and then we'll build into the game. And I think that goal before half time will be the starting block for us, and hopefully it should be a comfortable win.
Jake, you'll be up in the press box delivering the live Pompey coverage as you do every match day on Express FM. So tune in. I don't feel like we need to give Express FM a shout out. For Mike, I want to get his subscribers up. For Express FM, everyone knows that. You'll be. Is that a new ground for you as well? One to tick off the list.
Do you know what? It's not. No.
My word.
I've done a bit of ground.
I've been to Port Vale before.
I know. Because Pompey haven't been there since the year 2000. So yeah, I'd done a bit of ground up a couple of years ago. Went to see Port Vale versus Chesterfield, and it was actually a day where I'd done three different grounds in the space of 24 hours. It's quite an incredible afternoon we had. But from what I'm expecting from Pompey, like you say, Ellis Harrison will be a threat. But the depth we've got in our squad, we've got the ability to rotate the team now. Tuesday at Newport, I believe we could probably make 11 changes and still have a team that's capable of playing, League One football. Looking forward to the game. It's a ground, as you mentioned, Pompey have not been to for well over 20 years. I'm sure the fans will be up for it.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird stadiums, I think, in the Football League where it's actually rather large. It's not a small ground, but it's also not the greatest in terms of facilities. It's been kind of left in the dark ages, but that's what we love as football purists, isn't it? Going to these hunting grounds and hopefully taking 3 points off, and I hope we do take that 3 points off and going into what will be, as we've already mentioned, a tough September period. But newly promoted side, they've started off relatively okay for a newly promoted team. And just think if we keep our concentration, keep our composure as we have done in the last few matches, there's no reason why we won't come away from that with a win.
Alex, how nice is it to say that we are the league's top goal scorers right now? I know we're early days. I wanted to get that one in the stream because I think it's important. And how would you be feeling as a Port Vale fan? Pompey, 3 wins on the trot, 4 wins on the trot in all competitions. Not a good time to play us.
Yeah, of course not. And I mean, you're looking at it, and we see teams that come to Fratton, or we go to their place, and we always look at the last 5, and every time we see they've won the last 3, it's just instantly, this is going to be a tough game. And I hope that Port Vale are having the same thoughts that we would have. I think, why would you want to play Pompey at the moment? I mean, us coming away, we're going to bring a massive following. Obviously, most of you boys are going to be there, which is great to see. I think we're free scoring at the moment, as you say. I think the confidence is high. I'm really just hoping that Dane Scarlett can get on the score sheet, because I think that will do him a world of good. I think he's doing every other aspect of the game perfectly at the moment. And as soon as he can get that first goal, I think that we could really, really be on to another player that's going to chip in a fair few goals on the spreadsheet this season, Sean.
We're still 7 short.
Well, Ogilvy's 2-2, mate. I know you weren't expecting that one, were we? Weren't expecting that.
I wasn't. I need Raggett to chip in with a few more.
Yeah, nearly in his own net on Saturday, but less said about that, the better. Joe, if we can get an answer to this by the end of the show, I'll be amazed. Port Vale, God. Okay, there we go then. Hold your thought, and we'll see what the comments do on this. We'll get some comments in. Type it down there if you think you know it. If you're a whiz like Jake and Brendan are, Port Vale are one of only 2 teams in the 92 who are not named after the place they are from. Who is the other? And if our dad is watching this, Ollie, he will love it, because he asked me this very question just a few short days ago. So there we go. What I should say is we must do this, and we must mention this, because he's a man who's having a rest, rightfully so, today. But Richard will be running a half marathon very soon. And as you can see, he is 94% of the way to raising his £500 target. So very good friend of ours, regular contributor to the channel, is raising money for a fantastic cause. As I said, it's the half marathon in Cardiff. We mentioned this on the channel a few short weeks ago, but seeing as Richard is so close to his goal, we wanted to tell you all about it one more time. You can read the full story on Richard's Just Giving page, and all the donations, as we always say, are very much appreciated. I know a lot of the boys in the channel have already done so. Right. Okay. So as we know, Ollie, you won't be there, but Port Vale, your score prediction, and also if you have a look at these games as well, I wanted to talk about this as well. I know we haven't got the games, but the games coming up, you've got Peterborough, you've got Barnsley. Jake's already mentioned it. September's going to be a lot tougher. Resilience is going to be key, but you back this Pompey side to do it right now.
Yeah, I think against Newport, we've got to not be complacent. We've got to go out there and batter them and keep this, run of form up, keep the confidence up going into the September period. But at the end of the day, if we want to be in the top flight for promotion, then we've got to be expecting to beat the tough teams still. We can't go into these run of games thinking, well, it'll be good if we get a draw, or if we lose a couple, that'll be all right. We've got to keep that momentum up and keep pushing forward. Every game that we have a 1-1 draw where we could have snuck a win is 2 points lost, in my opinion, even against the tough teams. And, you should be going into every game expecting to win. And from what we've seen of the boys this year, I think we very much have that attitude. We haven't had an easy start to the season either. With the first 2 games of the season weren't easy. I know we got draws out of them only, but there's no reason why we can't go win these games. So I'd expect us to go in to September period and getting a handful of wins out of the tough matches.
8 points from our run of games. That's a good return
from our next 3. What? How many?
8 points from the run in September.
Oh, more than that. Yeah, definitely.
Good.
You got to be looking to win them. I know that obviously. What is it? Something like 54% of wins gets you somewhere near the top of the table by the end of the year. So yeah, I would like to see us come out of it with somewhere between 8 to 12 points in that kind of remit.
Okay. Right, we'll go back to the trivia question very quickly then. Alex has said Arsenal. Lone has said Forest Green. We've got a couple of different answers. Arsenal and Forest Green. Forest Green playing nails over Gloucestershire. But then there's also Dave on Facebook. QPR is a shout as well. Tranmere playing Birkenhead on the Wirral. Vale Park was named the Wembley of the North. So I think that's about your comment that you said with it being quite a bit of a larger place, Jake. So, I mean, Jake, Brendan, we'll start with Brendan. What's the answer?
Arsenal.
Is it Arsenal, Jake, or were you going to go Forest Green?
Well, I was going to say Arsenal, and then obviously Forest Green came up in the comments, and I think it's one of those weird questions where technically both are right. Forest Green, I don't think is a place, is it? But neither is Arsenal, and likewise neither is Port Vale. So, and Queen's Park Rangers too. Is that an area in London? I believe they play.
Must be in Queen's Park, I believe. But Arsenal's will be named after the armoury in Woolwich, and that's what they're called. Woolwich Arsenal started off with. Obviously now they're called that. And,
there you go. There's your history lesson from Brendan. Lovely. Right, let's get score predictions going then. We've just gone past 8 o'clock, which is fine because we love a bit of an overrun here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. Gaz, you're making the trip. You're coming for goals. Score prediction and your general feel for the game.
Yeah, I'm not coming for a 0-0 like Ipswich last year. So I'm going to go for 4-0 written all over it.
Brendan, you thought, and I haven't spoken to you about Port Vale either. You're making the trip. Your thoughts ahead of this one?
Yeah, very much looking forward to it. As you remember back from the lockdown season and our live streams we did back then, you remember me and Dad were big fans of Ellis Harrison and couldn't believe that John Marquis was getting the nod over him each week when Mark was going to hit a barn ball with a banjo, as we shown on yesterday. We noticed that, didn't we? But yeah, going into it, he's a danger man. The goal he scored yesterday as well against Burton Albion, it was a breakaway from a defending corner. Then he won the 50-50 in the middle of the park, rounded the keeper and tapped it in. So we know he's got quality, and he did it against us for Fleetwood last year as well, didn't he? That game at Fratton Park where he bullied our back 4 or back 3, I think we were playing that day, and it gave us a run for our money. We were 3-0 or 3-1 down at half time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely going to get some good score some more goals in this one. Yeah, we'll win 4-0. I think definitely.
Dan saying 2-0 Pompey. Dylan saying 3-0 Pompey. Ollie Clark saying 3-0. Another Dan saying 2-0 Pompey. Harry said 2-1 Pompey. Gav's going for a 3-1 again. Aaron, reading the room, average of about 3 goals Pompey's way. You can't argue with any of that, can you?
Nah, not really. I mean, it's going to be tough, but all games are tough. If you want to beat everyone, you've got to go for it. We're going to make one little mistake, so they're going to score 1. But we're going to be triumphant at 5-1. I would love 4-0 written all over it, of course, but I think it's going to be 5-1. And Scarlett's going to get a couple.
If you get yourself there, mate, you'd be the lucky 4-0 charm. Forget the Lake District. Get the Port Vale.
I'm getting cut evil looks at the moment. So
Sorry. Hello, Mrs. Fish Tank. Good evening, Mrs. Fish Tank. Thanks for joining us for the stream. Ollie, you will know, as I told you earlier on, the only reason why Pompey conceded a goal. Oh God, can I see? There he is. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Andrew.
Oh, here we go.
Good evening, Andrew.
Good evening, gentlemen.
He's not in charge of the Wi-Fi then.
Not tonight, no. Ollie sorted it all out. Can you get a score prediction off Dad? What do you reckon?
Is that a ball prediction?
Does it matter what game? You're probably going to say the same thing.
Which game?
Port Vale.
What are you saying, Alex?
I'm just saying that you say the right thing. You say the right thing every week.
Okay.
Let me think about this. I don't think we'll score any more than 4.
Nice. There we go. Thought that was coming. Ollie, you going to back him up, mate? Back up the old man?
No, not at all. I think he's a nutter.
He is, you're right. You're not wrong there.
I was thinking 5-1 in my head. Genuinely, I was on that same sort of wavelength, and I thought about it, and I was either going to go 3-1 or 5-1, but I'm sticking with 5-1.
That's the same as 4-0, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
A lot of excitement in the comments that Andrew's finally joined us. We've got more trivia, which we may come back to. Pompey Player of the Season, 1987. Jake, Brendan, if you can get that, then who knows? Is Andrew younger than Greg Wallace? Thanks for that, Martin. Appreciate that. Good evening, Andrew. There we go. Lovely. Let's get back to the old score predictions then. 5-1's a bit exotic and easy. 4-0. 2-1 Pompey, says Philip. 3-0 Curtis with a brace, says Daniel. Jake, how are you feeling, mate?
Oh, do you know what? It feels rude not to say 4-0 written all over it, doesn't it? But no, I think 3-0. I think we'll go. I think we'll be one shy of that. 3 seems to be the average we're scoring at the moment. The last 2 games, 7 goals scored at Fratton Park, 6 different goal scorers as well, which I think is quite incredible. But no, I think comfortable 3-0 win. Get the job done. Move into September.
Alex, I want to give you a bit more of a loaded question. Rather than just a score prediction, I'm going to flash the old table up for everyone to see, and we're still a little bit transparent so everyone can do the thing. Yeah, there we go. It's happening as it normally does. That league table, for me, hello, Gaz, that league table starting to take shape from my point of view. I'm looking at those top 8 teams, maybe not in that order, but they definitely look like the sort of... Excuse me, give me a second. Those look like the sort of sides that are coming out the blocks fast and are wanting to get the points on the board, and Pompey can keep this up, then there's no stopping us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that looking at the top 8, I reckon the only one I maybe would have, to be fair, swapped or not swapped, but I thought Wycombe were going to be doing better than they are. Obviously, they started okay, but they went off the board a little bit. I mean, it's great to see them at 13th, nearly off the screen. It's fantastic. It's beauty. But I'm surprised that Charlton are doing as well as they are at the moment. And let's see how long that lasts. But yeah, the other 7 round them, I think, are the ones that we thought would be there or thereabouts. And I think we'll do Port Vale when we play them. I think we'll go 2-0 though. I reckon it will be a bit cagey, and I think we will get a goal. We'll be a bit nervy because Harrison, and thinking, is he going to do one against us? But I think we'll then get the second to kill the game off. I mean, it's so refreshing to see us kill the game off on Saturday. I mean, I said to my dad, I can't remember the last time it was like, we were 2-1 up and then the goal when it was 3-1 and we, game over. So yeah, it was just great to see that we're still going forward, still pushing and pressing, even a goal ahead, and not sitting in and just being happy with the 1 goal cushion. But yeah, I think we'll do them, hopefully.
I was never in any doubt on Saturday. I know, Brendan, you said to me, you were a bit worried when it went to 1-1, but I thought, no, we're definitely going to win that game. Just finally, bit of housekeeping. Reggie said 3-0 the last time I made a prediction on the 4-0 channel. I predicted Pompey to win League 2 despite being 10 points down. But my interview didn't make the video versus Yeovil Town. Reggie, that is a disgrace, and I apologise wholeheartedly. Come up and see us if you spot us at a football game. And I don't know what's going on with the old voice. Probably a bit too much shouting at the old Bristol Rovers game, but come and get on the channel, mate, and we'll be sure to get your prediction. And if you're going to predict us to win the league this time, go on, Brendan, you're itching.
on that Yeovil video, if you watch that back, you'll see a baby-faced Brendan on that one.
Are you on there?
Yeah, I'm on that one. Yeah, the promotion. Yeah.
There we go.
That's Yeovil in the fog, is it?
No, that's Yeovil at Fratton, isn't it?
Yeah, the Cal Naismith free kick.
Yeah, see the other side of the pitch.
In the fog, it was asking David Ford what the score was. That was a terrible game.
That's it.
That season winning, that game that we're at Fratton Park where we all got onto the pitch. Your video of the last game of the season, there's me and Reese walking right behind you. He's tiny, really tiny. Yeah, that's the first time. Then I started watching your videos and now we're here. But yeah, that was many years ago.
I tell you what, that's a new feature for next week on 4-0 Sunday Live. Spotting old Brendan, Aaron, and all the boys' appearances on the channel. We'll try to get the editor on and have a look. Jake, I wanted to ask you before you go. I know you probably want to go and have a life because you don't want to leave us. But 10 days left of the transfer window. Anything brewing from the press box? Give us a 4-0 exclusive.
Like I said earlier, unfortunately, Tom, I'm not on the same caliber as the guys from the news or Andy Moon. I don't.
Oh, you very much are, mate. Very much are.
Nah, not at all. But look, I know Danny Cowley, as again the news reported last week after the Cambridge game, they're interested in Shiloh Tracy, Harvey Nibbs as well, the two wingers from there. Not sure if we need more attacking players, but it's a luxury to have, isn't it? But I think going into the next 10 days, more recruitments would be fantastic. Bolster the squad even more so than we've already got. Maybe a couple of defenders, as much as we're looking promising in that region at the moment. With Robertson, Raggett, Morris, and even Ogilvie can come into that position at centre back if needed. I'd probably say that's probably our lighter area, and I don't think we've got any light areas. But if there was an area that I'd pick, maybe get a couple more defenders in the door. But other than that, I think we've got a squad capable of getting at least through until January and assessing the situation then. I think maybe be a bit sensible. Don't rush the next 10 days. Don't sign players for the sake of it. It'd be a luxury to get these players through the door if we can. But I think we're good to go until the mid-season break and reassess from there.
What's going on with Ollie and Dad? That looks like a bit of a funny. I wondered what was going on there. Oh, thank God it's your phone. What's that? Oh God, no, we don't need to see that. That's a Sondico. That one. Yeah,
that's one of my favourite shirts.
The one with the stripe going across the thing. Yeah. Happy. That looks like Cole Baker in the background.
For in it, that shirt.
That Johnny Ursel, that's the shirt, mate. Jake, you put your hand up as if you wanted to add something as well. I don't know if you. Sorry if I jumped in and asked you a loaded question about transfers. No. Wonderful. All right. Well, we'll
show you one other one.
Oh, please, go on, definitely. If anyone recognises that man, that show?
Oh, that's Smithy from Soccer AM. Yeah, Baby Elvis, if you remember back in the day.
That's the one. Amazing stuff. Well, hello to Mikey. Welcome along late to the party, mate. Mikey, I'm just delighted that you've done that. Really delighted.
Any bath pictures there, Andrew?
Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned.
Oh God, we've got a whole album of this, haven't we? I tell you what, Nelson has had a facelift since the last time I saw him. He looks really strange now. Saw him on Saturday. Hello to James. He said briefly met you after the game was over. All is well, James. Thank you very much. And thanks for coming to say hello. Right, that's where we're going to leave you. Before Andrew managed to find any other pictures of me, I think we should very quickly get off the airwaves. Gaz, I wish you a very safe trip over, mate. This is the last 4-0 Sunday live before Port Vale. Brendan, equally, can't wait to see you up there, mate. Jake will hopefully see you if you're running late for the show again, like you were the other night. We'll see you up there. And Aaron, mate, sort it out.
I'm going to try a bit. If not, I'm just going to be
one more picture before we go.
I'm just going to remove Ollie from the conversation. Go on, Aaron, carry on, mate.
Yeah. The missus has just walked in, so it looks like I'm just going to be drinking loads of wine.
I tell you what, I've just seen the picture. Oh no, Ollie's gone. I was just going to add him back in, but he's gone. It was a picture of me. I'm sure you can understand that it was a picture of me. I don't know why I needed to tell you all of that because be a bit worrying if it wasn't a picture of me as a youngster. Anyway, that was last week's news. Thank you for joining us here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. It's been a pleasure to bring you this one, Jake. Your company has been remarkable. Thank you for being with us and spending a bit of time with us. If you are at a loose end on a Saturday, are you still on iFollow? Do you still get on iFollow, or do they not?
Yeah, still do iFollow.
Right.
There's so many different rules and stipulations about who can watch it in the UK on certain days. I know midweek you can't watch it in the UK. You can watch it in the UK if it's cup games or what. There's so many different rules, but we are still on iFollow. Yeah, I believe they only do 20 minutes of our build-up, even though we do an hour. But yeah.
Right, and you definitely can't use a VPN to work your way around that or anything like that, can you? That's definitely not something that I'd recommend.
I'd be legally obliged to.
No, not legally advised, but if I can say it from this side of the fence, absolutely get on that. Thank you to Andrew for the kind words about the show. Dan's enjoyed himself as well. And just found my 2008 FA Cup scarf was missing for 7 years. There you go. And we've got a giveaway going on, by the way. I should mention that before we leave you. It's open to members only. Head on back to yesterday's video, which has had a fantastic response. And I need to reply to the comments. If you left a comment and I haven't replied to it, I apologize. It's been busy. I will get back to you. on that, because I'll make a promise that we reply to every single comment. We really appreciate your support on the channel. That's where we're going to leave you. We did score predictions ages ago. We'll go quick fire. Just a reminder. Gaz, what did you say?
4-0 written all over it.
4-0, Brendan.
4-0.
Jake, you went for what did you go for?
3-0 Pompey.
3-0. Alex?
3-0.
And you went 5-1, didn't you, Fish Tank?
5-1. Ragged mistake.
As always, fabulous. Gents, thanks very much. And thanks to Matt for the kind comment. I'm glad he enjoyed the stream. Rob, feeling the same. Congratulations on 11K. Good life. Thank you very much for that indeed. Right, let's have a quick look at the fixtures that are coming up for Pompey in the next couple of weeks and into September. Newport's our next one. We're going to be there for that. Well, we're not going to be live. We're going to be there. We will be live, but the video won't be live. Port Vale's then followed by that one. Gaz, Brendan, and Jake's going to be there. Aaron will try and work on that one for you. Then it's Peterborough at home, which is a big one, but he's already smiling. Mrs. Fish Tank could hear that, couldn't she? Barnsley is an away trip for Pompey. Burton's going to be exciting on a Tuesday night. Pompey Plymouth is a big one. Bolton is also a big game at Fratton Park, so that will be a big week and a telling time perhaps, and see where we can hold ourselves against other teams in the division and see if actually Pompey it's right to get excited about this Pompey side at the moment. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. The gents are still here. I'm sure they're going to stick around for the story that I promised them, so we'll get on to that. For now, thank you for joining us here on Fournilwrittenalloverit. It's been a pleasure to bring you this one. Until we see you on Tuesday night, keep the faith. And as always, play up Pompey.
Play up Pompey!